Okay. So we just went and watched the last 2.5 periods of the Leafs. Kicked the shit out of New Jersey.
Yeah. Too many penalties in the first two games.
Yeah.
Way too many fucking penalties.
And bad penalties.
Yeah, stupid. But Hildeby, another good goaltending performance. Back-to-back nights.
Made some dynamic saves.
Yep. Big guy. Two big bodies in net. Three big bodies.
Would they say
Wall's not small.
6'7"?
6'7", yeah.
That is a giant.
That's a monster. This is like giving me pre-Dynasty Tampa vibes with Bishop and Vasilevsky.
It feels good to have like some options and to see, okay, here's what Hildeby is like in net. He made some sprawling saves. Like, he's still agile.
Yeah. I have watched him a little bit. So I always thought he would be solid. But I didn't think he'd be playing up so soon, but
Yeah.
Because what the fuck happened to Murray?
They sent him down. That's what I read, was basically they sent him down.
Did he? I know he went through. They must have cleared waivers then.
Yeah, I think so.
And they didn't want to call him back up and then have him clear waivers against play. It's got to be what it was, right?
Yeah. Because I don't think he's an NHL goalie anymore.
But I don't get the signing then. Why bother?
Veteran guy who won a Stanley Cup.
If you're gonna do it, he's your third goalie.
Yeah.
He stays up, but you don't have the cap room to do that.
I don't know. It's kind of uncomfortable having him.
You have, and Hildeby looked good, so maybe Murray gets dealt somewhere else. Who knows?
If he wants, maybe he just wants to stick around. Maybe he's just happy to kind of do what he's doing.
Maybe he just wants a season. You play in the AHL.
Yeah.
Get his game back.
Yeah. Because how old is he?
I mean, he's not young.
Matt Murray. 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
He won the cup pretty young.
I didn't realize he was that young when he won. It's at 3.75. Okay. Overall though, power play looked good. Sorry, power play sucked. Penalty kill looked good.
Yeah, power play stinking up the joint.
The hell was that with Nylander smacking the puck down the ice when he took a shitty... Yeah, it's a soft penalty. We get it.
That was soft as fuck.
It's just like you can't have that selfishness.
Yeah, whatever. It's the second game of the season.
It's second game of the season, but like that's easily could have been like a game-changing penalty.
Yeah.
Because if he's gone, or if he gets a misconduct, or he gets a double minor...
I think we blow shit like that out of proportion way too much now. Back in the day...
Oh, come on.
Back in the day, if somebody did that and they called it a penalty, they'd be fucking laughing at the refs. They don't fucking
but
shit about this crap.
Agreed. Like, whatever. It is what it is.
Soft.
I don't think it should be a penalty, but if it's going to be a penalty, and in the future the refs are going to call it, why the fuck do you need to do that?
He's just frustration, man.
I get it. Be an adult.
A little bit of passion. Fucking everyone bitches that he's not intense enough. Fuck's sake.
And that's when you decide to get intense.
Yeah, fucking do it. Who cares? Second game of the season.
Oh, God. Okay.
On to the Metro.
Let's keep it moving here.
Who's up?
I mean, let's start with Columbus. Like, I don't know how much more devastated a team can get.
Yeah,
honestly, that's just a terrible situation.
It's a brutal situation.
I don't think they have much to really stand on. I don't mind Merzlikins in that. You've got Marchenko.
So, the team that I think will be worse than San Jose.
Yeah.
That's the team I think that will be worse than San Jose.
Yeah, that's fair.
You look at the lineup.
You just don't have much to talk about here.
Yeah, I think like
Fantilli.
There's going to be some stuff with Monahan because Monahan and Gaudreau were good friends.
Yeah.
And there could be some moments throughout the year
You've got Boone Jenner in the player assistance program.
Player assistance, really?
I thought it was players.
I thought he just had surgery.
Let's see. Out indefinitely.
Yeah, I thought he had surgery. Because I read something that Waddell said today. That it's not going to be short term. It's going to be pretty long term, but they hope they get him back before the season's done.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I might have read something incorrect, but not much to talk about.
Yeah, here. Like Van Riemsdyk is interesting. Kind of a strange fit. At this point, you'd think he'd be going to teams that are contending.
Yeah, he's kind of bouncing around. He was with Boston last.
Marchenko had a decent year last year. If he could take a step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Fantilli, and that's it.
Yeah, basically my question was, are they going for the first pick here?
I think yeah.
And then my player is Fantilli.
Yeah.
If Fantilli can take steps this year, fortunately he doesn't have a lot of help.
If he's gonna do it, he's doing it alone.
Yeah. On here, he's on the second power play.
I mean,
that's shocking.
You
based on the rest of the lineup.
Think he'd be on first?
You would think so, but anyway, that doesn't. It's more of a growth year, and they're going to be in the lottery.
Yeah.
Probably a top 2 or 3 pick, and they can get Fantilli a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And then this is the long-term thing.
Yeah.
Waddell's got a lot of work to do.
This is ground zero for Columbus.
Yeah. And I think hockey's not really the most important thing here this year.
No. You got a lot of emotions going on in that team.
So I have them last in the whole league, so obviously I have them last in the Metro.
Yeah. Carolina.
A lot of people are down on Carolina.
I don't get that. I think Rod Brind'Amour is I think one of the best coaches in the league.
I would like him. Trotz and Maurice are my favorite coaches.
Yeah.
My question is, are they that much worse? That was my question. And I kind of look at the lineup, and on paper, they're probably a little worse. They lost a little bit of depth on D. But I think what makes them good, what makes them great, their roster isn't like their team isn't based off of individual guys in the first place. Like it's a team game. It's Brind'Amour's system. It's the system.
Yeah. And that's what it kind of.
That's why, and like Aho's still there.
You still have a lot of power. Jarvis is sick.
Their decor is still solid. Like Walker's a solid signing. Walker's a good third pairing defenseman. Slavin and Burns is one of the better first pairings in the NHL.
I'm gonna butcher this, but Kotkaniemi.
Jesus. Second line center now. He's
not
getting
bad.
Upgrade.
I like Roslovic. Roslovic is good.
Roslovic is one that I wanted to mention.
He went over to New York after
New York.
from Columbus.
I like him a lot.
They picked him up at the deadline.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah. Is he going to be a power play guy?
He's a Brind'Amour. He's a Carolina player. He's a Brind'Amour guy. Roslovic, I'd imagine PP2. Yeah, PP2.
Okay.
Obviously, Aho kind of flies under the radar. He's kind of not that superstar, megastar tier, but he's kind of like just under it.
I think people gassed him up the last 2 years a lot, and like partially justifiably so.
Clutch player.
Yeah.
Scores a lot of big goals.
36 goals, 53 assists.
Yeah, he's an over point per game player on a team that's
plus 34.
All system, right?
And I know some people don't like plus minus, but like
if it's that significant, it's
that much of an
outlier. Around zero, whatever, right? But if you're that high in the positives or that high in the negatives.
And honestly, at 19 minutes a game. 20 minutes a game.
He's going to play more than any other forward on their team, right? So my player there is Martin Necas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they did lose some guys, like Teravainen is gone. There's a couple guys gone.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been asking the question about Natchez. Everyone's been asking the question the past couple of years: is he going to take the next step? Now he kind of has to. He's kind of being thrust into a larger role.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of opportunity as well. They've given him a lot of opportunity.
And he grew. Like, he entered the league 2017, 2018. Got better. 2021 to 2022 was a big step for him. That's when he went from 14 goals, 26 assists to 28 goals, 43 assists. And then he regressed back.
A little bit.
Yeah. Particularly in the assists.
Yeah. It's not really I don't think it's a question about whether they make the playoffs or not. It's what they can do in the playoffs. That's kind of where they struggled.
Yeah.
Not really struggle because they've been to like a couple conference finals.
It's kind of a weird division. You've got some teams that, like, we're obviously going to get to that are absolutely wildly good. Cough, cough, New York Rangers. But then you've got a lot of teams that you're really not expecting a whole lot from. So when it comes to playoffs, it's like it really depends on who you get. You could get the Rangers or even the Devils, or you could get Philadelphia, Islanders.
Yeah, honestly, in this division, outside of Columbus, you could plausibly see any of those teams in the playoffs.
You can see them in the playoffs. I don't think any of them are going to, outside of the Rangers, are going to make massive waves in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, none of them are really going to get past round 2.
You know what I like is I like the tandem, Anderson and Kochetkov. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
If Anderson can stay healthy, obviously. Well, I've always liked Freddie, even when he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's just injuries.
Composed goalie.
Yeah.
Where do you have player to watch?
Natchez.
Right. And then where are they finishing?
I have them winning the division.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have them winning the division. I think people are really down on them.
I put them at 2.
I think people are way too down on them. They're just Brindamore's a good fucking coach, man.
So you think they
isn't going anywhere?
They outdo the Rangers?
Yeah.
Wow. Hot take.
I don't think it's that hot of a take.
Hot take.
All right. Who's
next? Let's pop down to Philly.
Torts.
Goaltending issues.
Yeah, they got the big Russian guy came in. Urson was decent at the end of the year.
He was okay, yeah.
Solid year. Fedotov, yeah, that's who it is.
6'7" Russian.
Basically, the question is, can they replicate last season? Obviously, not including the end of the season, but
yeah,
they were in the playoffs for most of the season last year. If you're looking at that roster, it's really surprising. And
everyone wants to know what Michkov.
He's one of the Calder candidates there.
Everyone wants to see what he does.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a big time goal scorer. We'll see. He had good numbers in the K last year.
Tippett, phenomenal. I really like Tippett. Konecny.
That's a guy for Canada. That's a guy.
That is phenomenal player.
That's a guy. One of the better wingers on Team Canada. Watch out.
Farabee, Frost, you have some really nice offense here.
Some Torts players.
Yeah. I think defensively they're not great.
Yeah, it's honestly tough. Even the forward group, it's hard to find scoring in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Michkov pans out, can Couturier stay healthy? Also, Couturier getting the C last year and then getting healthy scratched. Fucking Torts. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen, right?
That doesn't help.
Dude, is Michkov going to translate with Torts, right?
That's the thing, right?
Who knows?
Torts is a pretty polarizing guy. I could...
He's a Russian. He probably doesn't give a fuck.
I could see any guy who came to me and said, I played for this guy and I hated him or I loved him, I'd be like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel just so polarizing. Yeah. So Michkov is obviously the guy to watch here.
I didn't want him because everyone's going to say Michkov. I went with Tippett because I thought Tippett had a good year last year.
He did.
And I want to see if he can continue that.
The Red Rocket?
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I like him.
I think he fits well on Philadelphia.
He fits the team.
Yeah.
And I want to see if he can do it again. He's a solid, like, secondary scoring guy.
From Peterborough, Ontario.
There you go. Yeah, folks, I don't know why Jack is so scared to tell you where we're from.
Okay,
it's like we're going to get hunted down or something here.
Psychos exist.
Psychos do exist, but I'm not sure what we did to make them want to.
Well, not yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, so we live okay, you're in Tecumseh. Bell River, whatever. I just moved here. I'm originally from Waterloo.
We're in the
not
Windsor
Kitchener,
area, folks.
But we're in we're in the greater Windsor area. So that's where all the Southern Ontario references are coming from.
Yeah.
Point Peely. Check it out. Yeah, Tippett last year, 28 goals, 25 assists.
I have Philly in 7th in the division. I don't
Unfortunately. I want to like Philly.
I don't think they can do it again. I think that was kind of a one-off. Yeah. It's just not really looking up. I don't know. They're not really young, but they're not really old. They're kind of in between.
They need to put it together.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of building to do, but they're not bad enough. The problem is they're not bad enough to get high-end guys.
Yeah.
They kind of lucked out on Michkov because he told everyone he wasn't coming for 5 or 6 years.
Fair.
Who's next?
Pittsburgh.
Staying in Pennsylvania.
I don't know.
So have they done enough to get back in the playoffs with the aging core? So obviously the Leafs connection here with our former GM.
Michael Bunting.
Michael Bunting is there.
Another Dubas guy.
Yeah.
As everyone knows. Malkin, Crosby, Raquel. I don't know. I don't think they have enough.
Yeah, it's...
this is why I'm putting them, like... I don't know. I think they're 7th for me.
Like, Jari is a good goalie, but he can't stay healthy. The D-core isn't very good at playing defense. They're very good at playing offense. The power play last year was fucking horrible.
Well, and you've
know how.
You've got old as shit defensemen here too.
Yeah. Can we just talk about Sidney Crosby for a minute?
We can talk about Sidney Crosby for a minute.
We're gonna talk about Sidney Crosby a lot.
Polarizing
because
guy.
Sidney Crosby is my favorite non-Maple Leaf of all time. Because is there a more unselfish athlete? Has there ever been an athlete that unselfish that is that good of a fucking player?
It is unreal how much he elevates everyone's game who plays with him.
Everyone that plays with him ends up being good.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And when it's everyone, it stops being a coincidence.
And when the best fucking player of the past 25 years says, I'm going to take a little bit less money so we can be better.
Oh.
What does that say to everyone else on the roster?
Toronto Maple Leafs, should we take a page from this?
Yeah, well, good luck with that. We're a little past that. Well, it's fucking Pittsburgh's GM. That's why we're fucking in the mud right now.
He's got 2 assists tonight.
Yeah.
And what's wild, just points overall. Because I thought he was declining, and he had those, like, I don't know. He had the 2 seasons, 2019, 2020, where he missed a decent amount of games, but starting to build up.
Well, no, those were COVID years. They're short seasons.
Were they short seasons? Oh, yeah, I guess they were.
Yeah.
I thought it was only 1 season they did the COVID shit.
2020, they got cut off. So he probably missed a little time that year. And 21 was the all-Canadian and all that shit.
94 points last year.
Yeah, 94 points. He's like 30, 36, 37.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's like... This is where I'll get into Crosby and McDavid here. Okay?
Yeah.
I know we're getting a little off the rails.
We were bound to end up on these rails.
We're getting off the fucking rails every episode, I'm sure. This is what I have an issue with McDavid. It's not really McDavid's fault. It's the media.
Okay.
It's the media's fault that they. I understand the hype. Okay.
Okay.
McDavid is a ridiculously talented person.
Yes.
Like, there aren't many people on Earth who are as good at one thing as McDavid is.
Which is?
Stick handling a hockey puck at that high of a speed.
He's fast as fuck, boy.
It's insanity what he can do.
Fast as fuck.
It's insanity what he can do.
Yep.
Okay? What I take issue with is that a lot of people are out here talking about McDavid's one of the best ever. And by the end of it,
talented beyond words.
Talent doesn't necessarily mean you're good. I'm not saying McDavid's not good. He's obviously amazing. McDavid puts up crazy points, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah,
he's crisp.
They got close last year. They got super close last year. Okay.
Yeah.
And there were I will admit, there were some signs in the playoffs where things could be a little different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When Crosby came into the NHL, okay, Crosby was kind of the same thing. Crosby was the fastest guy. Crosby was the most skilled guy.
The size of his legs are tree trunks.
Yeah. Crosby came in at 18, and obviously, if you play with Mario Lemieux, you got somebody to learn off of.
Yeah,
that's pretty
great mentor.
Yeah, but Crosby came in, and they told Crosby after year one or during year one, year two, whatever, okay, you're talented, but you're not good enough defensively. You're not good enough on draws. You don't score enough goals. And Crosby, use my right hand to snap my fingers here. Next season, better.
More goals.
Every season. Everything people threw at Crosby, they told him he was too injury prone. Since those concussion problems we heard about
2011, 2012.
15 years ago, has he been hurt much? Nope.
Not really.
Crosby takes it upon himself to get better at every single thing. And I don't see that in McDavid.
The work ethic and the continuous improvement and the changing of your game to, I think Crosby is inarguably one of the best two-way players to play.
Crosby's probably the best all-around hockey player that's ever lived.
And to still be doing it at this age is just wild. I just don't know if it's enough to be he can drag the Pittsburgh Penguins to anything more with what he has around him.
So my final thought on this is McDavid. McDavid did look good defensively at times in the playoffs. What I take issue with is that he picks and chooses. He's not consistent. If you want to win, you want to be one of the best ever, you got to win. You want to be one of the best ever, you got to win more than once.
Consistent as a cold in February.
Okay? And it's hockey. It's fucking hard to win. It's hard to win.
Yeah.
Really hard to win. It's hard to win one. It's really hard to win multiple.
And 82 games is one thing. Now go into a 7-game series.
Okay?
4 times.
And that's... McDavid has the tools. McDavid should be the best at absolutely everything. Nobody should touch him at everything. But he picks and chooses. You don't think Crosby could have gone out there season after season and said, I'm going to get 150 points this year, just like McDavid does. He could have done that.
Yeah.
100% he could have done that. But he chose to say, I need to work on other parts of my game. I'm going to get better at this part. I'm not going to play 25 minutes a night in game 45 out of 82 because we need to get these other guys up on my level. They're never going to hit my level, but we need to get them as close as possible because we need these guys in the playoffs.
You're at a point where, okay, Sid took the pay cut. How many years left is he going to be playing, and what are you going to do to surround him with guys?
Because of who their GM is, it's not going to work.
No,
it should work, but it's not going to.
And
I think they shouldn't have kept all 3 guys.
Crosby.
Malkin and Letang, I don't think they should have kept all three. Honestly, Crosby's the only one that should be there.
What's Malkin being paid?
I probably in the same area, I'd say.
Well, much. Because, I don't know, what's his production been like? I haven't heard much.
I'm sure offensively it's not as good as it used to be, but I'm sure it's still fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't
67 points.
But he doesn't do enough elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
My player to watch here is Rutger McGroarty, Michigan man.
Michigan man.
Was Michigan's best player last year.
Okay.
And he's on the third line. He got a spot out of camp.
From Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
This guy's freaking lived in ice.
Yeah. And he's a good player, and I could see him working his way up to the first line and playing with Crosby. I could see it. We'll see.
All right, which new do you want to start with?
Pittsburgh, I have finishing 5th in the Metro. Just so we're clear.
5th?
Yeah.
Seems high.
If you look at the Metro, it doesn't seem that high.
Seems high.
Yeah. New Jersey.
Jersey. Let's talk Jersey. Our good friend.
We just watched them.
Sheldon Keefe just lost to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mixed feelings about this team.
Here's my question. Everyone's high on New Jersey. I think New Jersey's the team in the East a lot of people are high on, and Nashville's the team in the West.
I don't know if I see it.
Are the bounce back favorites as good as everyone says?
Okay, you got Timo. What's his year gonna look like? I don't know what would change because he finished okay. He finished the season doing fine.
Here's what I'll say. Okay, I think New Jersey's a good team. They're a good hockey team. I think Sheldon Keefe is a good coach, and I think they will be better, and they are for sure a playoff team.
Yeah.
But people are really down on Carolina for the difference, and people are really high on New Jersey. New Jersey doesn't have the structure that Carolina has. New Jersey has more high-end talent.
Keefe's not going to bring that structure either.
Keefe is Keefe is detailed in like certain parts of the game, but it doesn't always translate on the ice. Just based on what I've heard about Keefe, like a lot of players say he's really detailed, but it just never, like in Toronto, it never really translated. I don't know. It could be different in New Jersey. Obviously a big difference here is that they have goaltending this year.
Even simple stuff like break-ins.
Yeah. Markstrom and Allen, that's a good tandem.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
You got Dougie Hamilton.
Hamilton's healthy. Hughes is healthy.
Nemec.
Yeah. Heishier is a good two-way player, good leader. Dawson Mercer. He's got to if he could take a step.
You got Jack Hughes, obviously.
Yeah. Brott. The first line's a good line. Meyer, Hughes, and Brott is a good line. Brendan Dillon's a good pickup.
They get him from Winnipeg?
Yep. And Luke Hughes, obviously, he's hurt to start the year, and then they signed Brett Pesce from Carolina as well. But then they also have this another Michigan kid, this Seamus Casey kid, who's been buzzing out of the gate here. I know. He's a defenseman. I'm harping on the Michigan boys here, but it's hard not to. All right, they're buzzing out of the gate.
Oh yeah, okay. NCAA first All-American.
Yeah, he's had a good start. I know he's on the power play, second power play. Obviously, when Pesce and Hughes are healthy, I'm sure he's going down. Sucks for him, but give him a little bit of time to get better and get used to the pro game. And Jersey will be fine. I'm not as high on them as other people are.
Paul Cotter's a good pickup.
I just think they're a good team. Keefe's a good coach. But I don't look at their lineup and say, wow, these guys are amazing.
It isn't enough to win a cup.
But it does help that their division isn't very strong.
Yeah.
So they're in.
2?
I have them at 3.
3. Because you put
I put Carolina at 1.
Carolina at 1.
My player to watch is actually Timo Meier. You mentioned Timo Meier. I think Keefe is going to be really good for Timo Meier because Keefe has had a lot of success with power forwards playing with studs.
Yeah.
Hyman, Bunting, guys like that.
Even
Obviously, Meier's probably more of a prototypical scoring player. I mean, obviously not what Hyman's done, but than Bunting and other guys that he's coached in Toronto. But Meier's had success in San Jose, and if he can replicate that, he's a really good power forward.
Yeah.
And I think he'll have a bounce back year. I think he's in the 30-goal range.
If he can get 30, that'd be big for them.
Yeah.
Islanders. I already know your thoughts on the Islanders.
The Islanders. Oh my God, the Islanders.
You have a crazy man behind the bench.
Every year I look at the Islanders every year and I'm like, wow, nothing about this team jumps off the page, but somehow they're just in the mix.
They're there. I mean, you have some phenomenal talent here. You do.
We'll see with Duclair. I think Duclair got a goal tonight.
Duclair is a cool pickup for them.
Playing with Horvat and Barzal. Patrick Waugh, when he came in, obviously, yeah, we love it for the entertainment factor.
Who's he gonna fist fight tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to the Quebec Junior League.
decor. Dobson's good. Pellick, I
Yep.
like. Pulak, however you pronounce it, I like. I think Dobson probably makes Team Canada.
You do have Sorokin coming in off of a pretty lackluster season.
Sorokin, can he figure it out? But I think Varlamov's a good backup.
Yep. Two Russians.
It looked like Patty Waugh liked Varlamov better at the end of the year than Sorokin. So we'll see. I think Sorokin will figure it out.
Yeah, he doesn't just fall off.
Bad. The forward depth, I'm not. It's looking pretty rough, honestly, after that first line.
You mean Palmieri isn't gonna pull it off?
It was nice to see as soon as Waugh came in last year, they opened it up a little bit. They weren't as boring. Although everyone calls the Islanders the most boring team. When Patty came in, the Islanders opened it up a little bit. Kind of like Nashville opened it up a little bit with Brunette as the coach.
Mm-hmm.
The Islanders opened it up a little bit. So they're probably more fun. They're gonna be more fun to watch this year, I think.
You do have this guy. You have Maxim.
However you want to.
However the fuck you say this.
Siplikov. That's actually my player to watch.
Good preseason.
So good preseason. I mentioned the KHL guys. I'm interested to see what guys do come from the K. This guy's another one because they need secondary scoring, right? That first line is kind of the whole offense.
That's
here.
it. If they're not on, you're not winning that game.
Like Barzal had a good year last year. Can he keep it up? I think he will. I think he's a point per game guy.
And it's nice because you have the new guy coming in from the KHL, having spent a couple of years in KHL. He's not a rookie.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's why all those KHL guys come over and they have success right away.
Yeah.
They don't come in at 20.
Yeah.
18, 19, 20. They come
young
in at 20.
and have a complete...
Kaprizov comes in. Panarin, they were like 24, 25 years old.
Panarin came in that late?
Panarin came in late.
That surprises me.
I have them in 4th in the division, just ahead of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Any other comments about them?
Hopefully they're more fun to watch. I think they will be.
Probably what I view as the best team in the division, New York Rangers.
On paper, for sure, they're the best team. On paper, yeah.
Phenomenal goaltending.
So the roster...
In depth. Jonathan Quick and Shesterkin?
Yeah.
Sick goalies.
The Shesterkin stuff with the contract, he turns down the $11 million a year. He's saying, fuck you, I want to be the highest paid player on the team.
Unbelievable move. Don't know if it's the greatest.
Teams are going to be, honestly, since, well, obviously the price stuff, and that price wasn't because of poor play, obviously. Bob struggled a lot in Florida before he figured it out the last couple of years. So, and if you want to go way further back, Rick DiPietro, teams are going to be timid to give goalies that much money.
Yeah.
Especially now, you're kind of getting away from the workhorse goalies, right? It's more of tandem stuff now. Obviously, Shesterkin isn't a tandem goalie.
No.
But it's not what it once was, where Marty Brodeur is playing 75 games a season, right?
Yeah.
Henrik Lundqvist is playing 70 games a season. We'll see what happens there. I think he stays. I think the Rangers will probably cave and give him what he wants.
Yeah, but you're going to have to move some parts.
Yeah. They why I wasn't rushing to put them at the top of the division is on paper they have the best team, the most talent. But their guys are getting up there.
Yeah.
They're not young.
Panarin's not young.
Panarin's not young.
Trocheck.
Zibanejad's not young.
Trocheck isn't young.
No.
You've got a lot of guys
Kreider's
born in the
not
early
young.
90s who are kind of approaching falling off Kreider.
Basically, Lafreniere's the only young guy that's kind of showed a little bit.
Yeah.
And I really didn't see anything until last year.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And it surprised me how long it took him to kind of really find a stride.
Yeah. He was a first overall pick, but the draft wasn't the strongest, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think just because people see first overall, they think they're going to come in right away.
What I always get numbed to, like, the World Juniors. You see some of these guys perform at World Juniors, and you're like, this guy is a
stud,
game changer.
But it's not the same.
It's not. Bedard didn't walk in and dance around three players and then score the goal.
Yeah. This is grown man hockey, okay? And Lafreniere is not an elite skater. I'd say he's a decent skater, but I wouldn't say he's an elite skater.
Pulled off a cool goal last night.
He's got nice hands, but nothing pops off the page a la he's not generational first overall pick, right? I think you got to give guys time. You can't expect every single player that's that high of a pick to just come in and be a stud immediately. What's he, 22?
23.
Okay. He's still super young.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got time.
You've got other guys up front to help.
Yeah.
You've got Kakko, you've got Kreider, you've got Panarin.
Kakko I could see being gone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say traded, but probably free agency whenever his deal's up.
I just Trocheck has paid so much in dividends for.
I love Trocheck.
Unbelievable.
Love Trocheck. I'm gonna mention the Four Nations face-off, but I'm not gonna. It's not for Canada. Trocheck should be the U.S.'s fourth-line center. I would say, that's my opinion.
Yeah, you could see the argument. You've got.
What do we think about Trouba? Is Trouba going to be a Ranger by the end of the season, or even by next year?
How much is he going to need? I don't know.
It's wild how fast things turned. I feel like he just got named captain not that long ago.
Yeah. I don't know, honestly. He had a good game last night. He had 2 assists. He's going to throw the body around.
Well, the Rangers fans don't like him. A lot of Rangers fans don't like him.
Why don't they like him?
He makes some boneheaded plays sometimes.
Was he the guy who did the axe chop across the guy's face?
I don't know.
Someone on New York was, and I want to say it was Trouba.
Yeah, I mean, it could very easily be Rempe too, though.
Rocky. Rempe is Rocky.
Yeah.
He's not all that good, but he's showing up and he's throwing fists.
Is he in the minors? I don't see him here in the lineup.
No,
to start the year.
I think he was brought up.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Obviously, you expect more of the same from Adam Fox.
Yeah.
Condrey Miller has been good the past couple of years.
I think this is the best team in the division.
I think they go as far as Shesterkin takes them.
Fair. Player to watch.
I have Igor Shesterkin. Because
see if he earns his paycheck.
I think he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to have an unbelievable year. I think he's going back to maybe it was 3 or 4 years ago where he put up stupid numbers, and I think it's happening again this year. He was really good in the playoffs this past season, and I think he's going to earn his payday.
Deal.
Second in division for me.
Washington Capitals.
They're the last one in the Metro.
Yeah. They did a lot of moves.
They changed
moved
a
a
lot,
lot.
which is crazy for a team that made the playoffs, but obviously with all the negative goal differential talk. And it just, they kind of got lucky that they got in there. So, there you go. Talking about Dylan Gunter earlier, 2 goals again tonight.
Unbelievable. PLD.
Well, so will Washington be better? I have 2 questions for Washington. One's team related, one's one person, but we'll start with the team stuff. Will they be better with all the additions?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it.
You think
Absolutely.
Dubois is not going to be an asshole?
I don't think he's going to be an asshole, and I think he's got, like, enough of a central role to play here that he's going to be comfortable. He's not going to be relegated to, like, a third line, I don't think.
He's second line center at the moment.
So, even when they put him up, like, I forget who it was. Someone got hurt last season on LA, and as soon as you bumped him up to the second line, he didn't, like, his game didn't completely change. Suddenly it was like a light switch, but it was better. He does need some talent, and I think he just needs a better system that he wasn't getting in LA. He wasn't an LA player. He didn't fit in those systems. I think getting the chance in Washington to really kind of flex his muscles a bit with better talent around him, I think that's going to be
I don't know about better talent.
Well, who are his line mates?
Right now, he has Connor McMichael and Tom Wilson.
McMichael, I think, is low-key sick. And who? Mike Tyson?
Tom Wilson. Mike Tyson.
Tom Wilson, you psychopath.
I
like McMichael.
What makes you think that it's going to be different here than everywhere else? Because it's not like it's only happened in LA. This has happened with 3.
Winnipeg, he was good.
He was okay. He had some good seasons.
It's what got him paid, right?
Yeah, but
it's what got him that contract.
Yeah, it's part of the stuff in Columbus too. He played well in Columbus.
And then,
but he's toxic exits with every team. It's not one team. It's not 2 teams. It's 3 teams.
His LA toxic. It wasn't a toxic ending. Okay, the fans didn't like him, and he didn't play. There was
a lot of rumors out there that Todd McClellan got fired because of Pierre-Luc Dubois. So,
just rumors. I think I just think he's gonna play better with McMichael. I don't know about Tom Wilson. That guy's a fucking weirdo.
Chychrun and Roy on D additions.
I love Chychrun. I hated what happened to him in Ottawa. He's an offensive D-man, and they didn't need that.
Yeah, they really didn't. Yeah, you got to put guys in. The guys just got to find the right team sometimes. I'm not entirely convinced Washington is that team, but yeah, I don't really know about them. They brought Logan Thompson in too. That's a good
Logan
one
Thompson's
too.
good.
Lindgren and Thompson, if Lindgren can play like he did last year. I can't see them getting that lucky again.
Yeah.
As lucky as they got last year.
Brought in Mangiapane.
I like Mangiapane. I think that's a decent signing.
Mangiapane. See, this is the thing. How the fuck do you say something? Ivan Miroshnichenko.
We're not even going to pretend.
I do. I agree with a lot of the moves that they made. You're going to have Chychrun. I think Chychrun's still going to be PP2, though.
Is Carlson still around?
Yeah, John Carlson's going to be PP1.
Sandin, too.
I think you give Chychrun a shot at PP2 before you give Sandin.
I think they're both on PP2.
Did they run a 2 defense?
Usually, a lot of teams are going 2 on the second power play because they play the first power play for a minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And they need 2D for when it goes back to 5-on-5, right?
Okay.
Because basically, is Washington going to take Ovechkin off the ice on the power play when he's fucking hunting this record here? Because that's question number 2.
This old fuck.
Is Ovi going to break the record this year?
This old fuck. How many does he need?
I think he needs 42.
That's a lot to ask of Ovi.
That's my player to watch, too, just because of the record.
Is he 39? He'd need how much? 42?
I think they said 42.
Last year he got 31. He got 42 in 2022. He's very up and down, isn't he, in terms of his last couple of years? I guess that's the half here.
What do you think about 31? And he did not score a lot in the first half.
No,
honestly, the first 2/3 of the year, he didn't do anything.
No, it really was once they started going on that playoff hunt when he started to score.
So, like...
He's still...
I don't think it's impossible.
He's still playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible.
Let's go with it then. I like Ovi.
I say he's going to do it.
Do it, Ovi.
A lot of people are... Well, they play in Pittsburgh last game of the year. A lot of people are saying he's going to break it in Pittsburgh against Crosby.
They'll burn that city to the ground.
Last day of the season.
Washington's going to burn. Player to watch. Is he your player to watch then?
Yeah, he's my player to watch just because of the record.
Yeah.
Because, like I know Washington made the playoffs last year, but, like, we all knew what was going to happen once they made it.
It was kind of lucky.
It was kind of, like, nobody really wanted to see them in the playoffs because they didn't really deserve to be there.
Yeah. It's time for the best division, the toughest division.
I have Washington in 6th before you go anywhere else in the Metro. I'm 6th.
Okay.
Yeah. Just beyond Pittsburgh.
This is easily the biggest division.
Atlantic.
This is nuts. Defending Stanley Cup champions. Honestly, I don't mind Montreal. I think they have a decent enough team.
Where are we starting?
We got to start with Buffalo or Boston.
Boston?
Start with Boston. First of all, fuck you, Boston fan. Fuck you. Just so you know where I stand. Is Pasta going to score 1 trillion goals?
We cannot go to Boston, and the first topic cannot not be Jeremy Swayman.
Okay.
The Sway Daddy has to be the first topic.
This negotiation.
That was fun.
It was interesting.
I wish it would have went longer.
Just for the drama.
Just
Pull a Nylander, 40 days into the season, still nothing. That would have been elite. Yeah. And they, I don't know. It's Boston, though. People might have, like, fought him in the streets. Because those absolute animals that live in that town.
So, in all seriousness, I think Boston was banking off of this reputation that they have, that it doesn't matter who they have, it's all structure.
Not anymore.
And I think that's gone.
Not anymore.
And I think that's what they were trying to say to Swayman, like, we'll be fine without you. And then Korpisalo had a stinker in the preseason, and it kind of got sketchy. And then Swayman signed, and maybe you should have waited, because the first game of the regular season that Korpisalo started didn't look good either. That's not to say it was Korpisalo's fault.
No.
Because he got shelled.
Yeah. Left out to dry.
Honestly, I find Korpisalo very unlucky.
I mean, Ottawa...
He's kind of had some bad situations.
Ottawa sucks.
Yeah, like, Ottawa's bad.
You're going to get... You could put anyone in there.
Yeah.
And sure, some might be able to do better as a tendy, but, like, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. Yeah. That's just the way it's going to go.
I think Korpisalo is a solid backup, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, you're going from Korpisalo from Ullmark, so it's different. It's not going to be... But most teams would take Korpisalo as a backup goalie, right?
Yeah.
Swayman, is he going to be rusty? He hasn't had a preseason. How long is it going to take him to bed in?
I heard he developed a Nerds Clusters addiction over the offseason. That may have just been a rumor I heard, but just saying, keep an eye out in the locker room.
My question was, is that thing going to be a distraction in the room? Because Brad Marchand had some comments.
Did he?
He had some comments basically saying, like, shut the fuck up and sign.
Wow. Shut the fuck up, Brad Marchand, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah. So do we think it's a distraction? Do you think the team, the guys in the room are a little frustrated with him?
If it is, get over it. End of the day, he missed one game.
Not even. He was on the bench. They just didn't start him because he hasn't had a preseason.
It's fine. If he held out like Nylander did for 40 days, the different conversation would be like, I missed the whole month and now I'm trying to get back up to speed.
Especially with the goalie.
You're fine.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, and if there's resentment in the locker room because of that, you've got bigger problems with team chemistry than one guy holding out for a bit more money, which frankly he fucking earned.
Yeah. Short sample size though. He hasn't had a full season as a full starter. He proved it in the playoffs last year, but
were they doing tandem?
Yeah, I don't think he's played more than 40 games in the season.
Because they kept rotating, even in the playoffs. They were like, "We're still going to do this every other game."
Yeah, it didn't last long, but you know.
No. Then they started losing.
They got the two guys from Vancouver, Lindholm and Zadorov.
Zadorov's good.
I like Lindholm. I don't think he's a first line center.
Sorry, this is Elias.
Yes, Elias Lindholm.
Is he coming from Vancouver?
Yeah, he was in Calgary. He got traded to Vancouver.
So you think he's second line?
He just doesn't. It's the point. He's never been a points guy.
And
he had a couple of decent years in Calgary there, like with. I think Gaudreau and Kachuk were on his line.
Kachuk. Okay.
But I just say at this point he's a two-way guy. Maybe it's just because it's Boston and it'll work. But I look at this roster, and I'm kind of not loving it.
No, I agree.
Which I like.
Because fuck you, Boston.
Fuck
you, Boston.
But
Zach is good. Pasternak's going to do Pasternak things. Brad Marchand.
The center depth isn't what it was, is basically my point.
Yeah. Is Zaka their first line center?
No, he's on the wing right now.
What?
He's on the first line wing. Lindholm center. Coyle centers the second line. But it's
I don't
Boston.
like this
There's
chemistry.
been the past couple of years, people are kind of like down on them, and then Montgomery came in, and it was kind of like, is Boston still going to be this good? And then they broke the record for most points in the season. So who knows?
Defense?
Yeah, that's... Even in the playoffs, they didn't look great.
No.
Especially against Florida.
No.
But even a lot of times in the Toronto series, they did not look that great. Swayman bailed their asses out a lot.
Yeah, in Florida really exposed them.
Yeah.
In terms of okay, you edged out.
This team ain't winning shit in the playoffs.
No, you edged out Toronto, good for you, and then you got absolutely clapped. Hampus Lindholm, you need to have a season.
Yeah.
Last season was really bad.
I can't see it. I think that 1 year was kind of a one-off.
But last year, I don't know. I think to have that steep of a regression is wild, considering the lines he's on, the minutes he's getting, and that he's on power plays. To have such few assists, and you're on the power play as a D-man, how are you not getting more here?
Yeah, PP2, but my player to watch is someone we haven't mentioned. Matt Poitras kind of exploded at the beginning of the season last year as a rookie. He's hurt right now.
Okay.
But
Poitras.
He was kind of in and out of the lineup. He got hurt at the end of the year. I think they need him, which is a lot of pressure to put on a guy. It's only his second year and he hasn't even played a full season. It's a lot of pressure on a guy to come through, but he showed signs last year that he could do it. He's a two-way guy. They kind of need a little bit of secondary scoring here.
You can earn a spot here. You can earn a spot if you show up.
He's got his spot when he's healthy. It's just that, can he produce enough for them?
Where are you putting these?
Successful? So, I have them in 5th in the division. That's pretty low. But I think something's got to give eventually here. One of these teams
to not have them in the top 4 is...
One of these teams got to get worse, and one of those 4 teams got to get worse, and one of the 3 or 4 in the bottom division got to get better.
I would even say top 3.
So...
Okay. the biggest Toronto Maple Leafs fans outside of Toronto and better than Leafs fans, Buffalo Sabres.
Buffalo Sabres are on the opposite end. I just said out of the 3 teams, I guess I think you can throw Montreal on the 4 teams. They're not quite on the same. They haven't been doing it as long, but teams that are kind of, can they make the playoffs? Buffalo's part of that, and Buffalo is not going to make the playoffs. Buffalo is going to be bad.
I love their goalie. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Love this goalie.
That's a good tandem, actually. If Levi can figure it out this year, he had a tough rookie year, but
he's really solid. Came in after I believe they sent Levi down, and just took over the starting role. Had some absolutely phenomenal games. His GAA was like non-existent. It was approaching 0, and he just, I don't know. He stands in the line, and I don't know.
I look at this roster. It's like, okay, so they got Darlene, they got Power, and they got Byram on the back end, okay? But are any of those 3 terrific defensively? Not really.
Not
Darlene
really.
makes a lot of fucking money. He's good offensively. Is he there defensively yet? The forwards.
You have some flair in the forwards.
Yeah, I like Cousins and Jack Quinn. Thompson obviously needs to be better this year if they want to do anything.
I like the Zucker pickup.
Yeah. So Thompson, you were supposed to come to the game, but you had COVID a couple years ago when we came up to Toronto.
Yep.
And Thompson was the Leafs were playing Buffalo, and Thompson was basically the only guy on that team where I was like, this guy is actually doing something, and fuck was he good. Big fucking guy, but he can skate and he can shoot the puck. Last year wasn't as solid as that previous season. But I think he'll have a solid year.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team, I can't see it.
I get why Buffalo fans are so frustrated with just the franchise overall.
Yeah. My question was, will they finally take the next step? I say no.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. I think they need to change some guys out before they can get better.
And then my player to watch is JJ Peterka. Unfortunately, he got a concussion in the first game. But they need him to step up offensively because basically Thompson can't do it by himself.
Yeah.
And he had a solid year last year.
28 goals, 22 assists.
Yeah. So if he
Not
can
bad.
maybe up the assists a little bit, get in around the 30-goal range.
You put
Buffalo. I think I have Buffalo last in the division.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's working out.
Okay. I was even debating that in another one, but we'll get there. Detroit.
So I'm from Windsor. We live in Windsor. So a lot of Windsor, there's a lot of Wings fans here. So I'd say we're 50-50.
Yeah.
Toronto, Detroit.
Yeah.
Mix in a few Frenchies here and there for the Habs.
Boo.
So it's very prevalent down here.
It's okay. They look okay. They don't look great, but they look okay.
So Steve Yzerman's been there a while now. Is it playoffs or bust for them?
For Stevie?
I think for some of the players,
I think you kind of need to. You're not going to get a DeBrincat like you did at the beginning last year. That was
you got to take a step here.
Patrick Kane, depth, sure. He's not.
He was pretty nasty at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to do that for a full year. He came off after a long break where he can take rest, do training, and came in and picked up a already struggling Red Wings squad. And it was fun to watch. And he's a big name. I don't see him changing the course of the team directionally.
The Tarasenko signed for the Wings.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Overrated beyond fucking words.
Yeah, he was not any. I think he's kind of properly rated at this point.
Yeah.
Career, but in his peak, obviously they signed Raymond and they signed Sider.
Yeah.
Long term, that's
Sider,
big for them.
Sider, huge signing for them.
Yeah.
Great defenseman.
Yeah, not a ton of change.
Andrew Kopp's fine.
I like Kopp as a third line center.
Yeah. Larkin.
When Larkin first came in, I found him overrated. I find him underrated now.
He's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Stupid penalty that dumb hit that really wasn't all that dirty from seeing it again. But he's a disciplined player overall, and he scores goals.
Yep. He can put the puck in the net, and he's a good leader.
Yeah.
I like Raymond. I think Raymond's a good player.
People are hot on Edmondson. Swede.
Yep. So we'll see what he does.
Probably the one to watch.
He's a big boy. The Wings have some fucking big boys in their lineup.
209.
Is it Rasmussen that's the fucking giant up front?
Let's see.
Yeah.
6'6",
Yeah.
220.
Yeah, he's a fucking truck.
Christian Fisher at 212 pounds.
Yeah, they got some big boys. They can bang. Talbot's in there. Husso and Talbot, the goaltending doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but
Leon was playing. He was playing well last year when he took over.
So
I don't think Talbot's gonna do shit.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I know Husso got a run in the preseason, but it hasn't panned out.
No, so I think Leon or Lion, whatever, is gonna be your number one. I still think he starts there.
Honestly, I'm not even sure they're gonna have a number one. I think they're gonna fucking committee here.
Him and Talbot exchanging?
All three. I think they're all gonna get time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, we just saw Hildeby, so.
Yeah. What was my player? JT Comfort. I like JT Comfort a lot. He's a good second line center, and they have some good center depth. Larkin, Comfort, and Kopp is some good center depth. They're all responsible two-way guys.
Yeah.
And I have the Wings finishing fourth in the division. The Wings are finishing higher than the
Really?
Boston Bruins.
That is wow. Okay, so Steve gets to keep his job.
Stevie Y keeps his job.
Good for him.
Stevie Bong
Love
keeps
that
his job.
Excuse me. Florida.
Defending Cup champs.
I think they're gonna be nasty again.
Yeah, there's not going to be too much of a hangover here. My question was, can they handle the offseason losses and the back-to-back short summers? I think they can.
Yeah.
They lost a few guys, but for the most part, they kept the majority. They kept Reinhardt. They just signed Verhaeghe.
Bennett.
The second line still looks the same with Bennett and Kachuk. It's just like depth guys. Obviously, OEL's gone, but Kulikov and Mikkola can step up. Forsling was unbelievable in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
When Montour was struggling.
Rodriguez is decent.
Rodriguez is a solid
good depth
energy guy. I'd say the depth isn't quite as strong up front, but it's still solid.
I think they took more of a hit on the defense.
Yeah, and I honestly don't want I think Montour was too much money for what he brings.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. Hate losing him because I think Forsling was really good, and I think Mikkola and Kulikov can pick up some slack here.
Obviously they lost Stolars and we picked him up. Spencer Knight as the backup.
Yeah,
I don't know about this guy.
Is Spencer Knight finally gonna figure it out, or because he was good in the A last year? He had a good year in the A.
So was he with Florida in the A last year?
Yes.
Okay, so he played 21 games in 2022, 2023. So he's played in the NHL because I've not seen this guy's name.
Because, remember, Bob struggled a lot for Florida until the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Bob was struggling. Alex Lyon got Florida into the playoffs that year.
Holy shit.
Alex Lyon was the one that got Florida in, and then started the playoffs, and that was the year that Boston had the most points ever. And Boston went up 3-1, and they changed goalies, and Bob got hot and never looked back.
I didn't realize Bobrovsky was in Philly.
Yeah.
They've still got Bob. He's still sick.
Yeah.
I I still feel really good about them. I think they probably win the division again.
Local man, Aaron Ekblad.
Local man. Close personal friends.
That's a joke, folks.
Yeah.
Ekblad doesn't give a fuck who we are.
Close personal friends. Ask him about me. I think they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I don't see an issue. My player to watch is Forsling. I think he's gonna take on big minutes this year, and I think he's gonna handle it well. I was really impressed with him in the playoffs last year. Fair. And I have them winning the division.
Let's go to Montreal. Le Canadien! Do they have it? No.
The Frenchies. Yeah, I think it'll be better.
I think it'll be better.
It'll be better.
Even seeing them play the regular game, I know it's preseason again, they looked fine. You have Cole Caulfield heating up every single year. He's just getting better. His chemistry with Nick is getting better and really, really good at this point. You've got this guy. Oh, who was it?
Slavkovsky had a good year last year.
Made a name for himself.
They're saying he had a big summer. He's going to be good. We'll see. Kirby Dach is healthy.
Hudson. People were talking about Hudson.
So Lane Hudson, I'm big. I am big on Lane Hudson, okay?
Did you draft him?
Yes. I got him in our fantasy draft. Now, mind you, folks, this is going to sound crazy. First round, Lane Hudson in the fantasy draft. We have a dynasty league, all right? So the majority of the guys, you're trying to draft rookies. And I had the 10th pick, and I got Lane Hudson. So that was pretty wild. My question with the Habs, so the big problem with the Habs is that we all have Buffalo, Detroit, and Ottawa as the three teams that have been kind of knocking on the door of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Then you have the four, Toronto, Tampa, Boston, Florida, that are kind of the mainstays in the Atlantic.
The ones.
So the Atlantic's a tough fucking division.
Yeah.
So Montreal, that's what's probably, if Montreal played in the Pacific or if Montreal played in the Metro, they probably would be knocking on the door of the playoffs a little sooner than
probably
what they have been.
Last year.
Yeah. Maybe they wouldn't say they're in. They have a ton of D prospects, but not a lot of full-time NHLers. So can that D core hold up enough to compete in the Atlantic?
Similarly, even with their forwards, you have a lot of guys who are under 25 here.
Yeah. Basically, Matheson and Savard aren't.
Yeah. Savard, 1990.
Xhekaj's got a big role. St. Louis seems to like him.
How could you not like that guy? He's from Hamilton, so he's probably stabbed somebody before.
Going to get a lot of time this year. But Lane Hudson looks like...
little small, though.
He's small.
Little small at 5'9".
Like Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean...
He's fucking good.
You point there and you're just that's tough to argue.
Good.
Now, no one's to say he's a Quinn Hughes, but really good-looking performance so far.
I just watched him in the game against the Leafs last night.
Yeah.
He did some things where I was like, wow, that's a rookie defenseman. He's going to be
looking good for a rookie defenseman.
And I think he's my player to watch.
Yeah. Where do they finish?
I have them 7th. They beat somebody out. They passed Buffalo, so the steps are there. But the Atlantic's tough. They got to be more patient. They're the youngest of the bunch, so they still have time. They're not as much of a panic as those other three Detroit, Ottawa, Buffalo teams. Yeah, it's not as much of a need to do it now.
Battle of Ontario, Ottawa Senators. I hate that I kind of like them. I think Jake Sanderson is an absolute stud. I think Brady is a phenomenal leader. Absolute stud. Pinto, stud. Giroux, still putting it on every year. It is unbelievable the consistency Giroux has had and continuing to be able to put output on the board. Nick Cousins, interesting kind of signing here.
Scumbag.
Hate him. Why?
The big one here for the Sens is obviously Linus Ullmark.
Yeah.
Is it going to make a difference?
I do.
And they got the signing. They signed him. Deal. So they got him locked in.
I think it's going to be a big, like, they need to get better, obviously, defensively. You can't just, like, leave them out to dry. But I think this takes their game to be able to be a little bit more reliable, so where games are going to be more competitive. And you're going to be able to kind of, edge out some of these close games and get the win.
Yeah. Like, I like Perron. I like Amadio. That's a good third line. Perron, Pinto, and Amadio.
Perron was a great pickup.
That's a really good third line.
Noah Gregor.
Noah Gregor's on the fourth line. I didn't realize he went to Ottawa.
Ridley Grieg.
The second line doesn't. Greg, Norris, and Batherson. It doesn't jump off the page to me.
Yeah.
I honestly remember their second line being stronger the past couple of years.
This team is gonna be Brady Tkachuk getting a bunch of goals.
Tim Stützle.
Yeah.
He's the one. He needs to step up.
What did he do last year?
He had a good year a couple of years ago. He went down. He dropped off a little bit last year.
Yeah.
Basically, this team goes as far as he takes them.
Yeah.
I think Brady Tkachuk's a good hockey player, but Stützle is like he's the most talented player on this team.
Yeah. Players to watch.
Josh Norris needs to stay healthy. Can he produce long enough? Can he stay healthy? I don't know. My player to watch in Ottawa is Shane Pinto. I actually think if Norris struggles to stay healthy and Pinto grabs a hold of that second line center spot, he might hold on to it.
Interesting take.
I think he could hold on to it. Obviously, all that gambling stuff from last year.
Dumbass.
He missed a lot of time. He's looking to prove it, and he's looking to get a little bit of a payday.
Fair.
But I don't see it. I know a lot of people are big high on Ottawa. I don't see it.
So where do they end up?
I have them sixth in the division.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna skip, and we're gonna end with Toronto.
We still got Tampa, right?
We're going to Tampa now. Tampa. I think the heydays of Tampa are over. I think moving or refusing to sign Stammer more so was probably the right phase out. But I just don't think you can rely on
Are they still
the guys here.
Are they so that pretty much answers my question. Is a regression in store or are they still in the mix?
I think it's a regression. I don't know how this team makes the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. I don't see it happening. I think they
really?
get edged out a lot, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, you have Vasilevsky. That's kind of like
I don't think they're that bad.
That's your cheat code, but I think fifth is reasonable.
Like I think Gensel's an upgrade on Stamkos at this point.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that I don't know, Victor Hedman. You've got what?
They brought McDonough back. He was a big loss. They missed him last year when he went to Nashville.
You've got Paul. You've got Braden Point. Kucherov is sick. I don't know. I don't know what makes me feel like these guys just can't really get it done.
So you think these guys are worse than Boston?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. Maybe
I'm looking at both rosters. I know Boston's got that structure, the myth, whatever. It was a thing. It's not anymore. You look at Tampa's lineup. I have a hard time seeing a team that has Vasilevsky, Hedman, Point, Kucherov, Gensel, and they're not going to make the playoffs.
I just think
That's not to say I think they're going to be the best team in the league.
Yeah.
They're going to.
I just think they get outworked. I think they can get outworked if they don't find momentum throughout. If they run into any injury problems, I think they get screwed.
For sure, the depth isn't what it was, but McDonough and Chernak's a really good shutdown pair. Moser came over. Where did Moser play last year? Oh yeah, he was in the Sergachev trade. That's what I thought. And it looks like he's playing with Hedman. So I don't know. Sorelli, can he take a little bit of a step offensively? He gets a good two-way game.
Yeah.
They need a little bit more scoring because the depth isn't what it used to be.
You got Connor Geeky.
That's my player to watch right there. Is Connor Geeky.
That makes sense.
He came over in the trade, the Sergachev trade as well, and I think he could be productive. I think he could be a good secondary scorer. And I don't think the power play gets worse. I know a lot of people are talking about it because Stamkos isn't there to shoot the puck, but Point and Kucherov was what was lethal in that, and Point in the bumper is what was lethal with Kucherov on that PP last year.
Is Braden Point on your Team Canada?
Oh, he's in the first 6. He already made the team, I think.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he's in the first 6.
Good for you, Braden. So where do you have him?
I have 3rd in the division.
3rd?
Yeah.
Generous.
If Vasilevsky's healthy, they have that goaltending.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay.
All right, folks.
We've arrived to what is probably overanalyzed, thought about way too long, and you're goddamn right it was. This is a very interesting, in my opinion, Leafs lineup.
I'll start. The Leafs, I have a couple questions.
Sit in, folks. This is going to be a bit.
I have a couple questions. So my first question is thoughts on goaltending.
So I liked Stolarz in Florida. He was solid. Anytime you saw he was starting, you're like, you know what? Good shot here. You never felt uncomfortable having him in net. My first hot take is Stolarz is going to finish the season as the starter. The Leafs will make the playoffs, and Stolarz is going to be their number 1. I love the pickup. I think Wool, he's just new. He just doesn't have a whole lot of experience. And so it's like, yeah, go tan him for a little bit. Maybe swing Hill to be in there to get some experience. I just haven't seen enough consistency from Wool throughout an entire season to be like, that's a reliable guy.
It's injuries.
It's injuries.
Yeah, it's injuries.
And so, yeah, I think it's okay, but I really like the Stolarz pickup.
Yeah, I'm a big Wall guy. I watch him play.
He tracks beautifully.
He's just a very technically sound goalie.
Yeah.
And I love that in a goalie.
When you think of a butterfly goalie, that's a really clean butterfly goalie.
Like a Carey Price, just clean.
Yeah.
It's a clean goaltending.
Fluid movements.
I love that in a goalie.
Never out of position.
Which is why I hate Samsonov.
We won't go down there.
We won't go down.
We won't go down. Yeah, another episode dedicated to former Leafs.
How much we hate some of them. Even
hate and then love.
Ones.
I.e., I would Phil Kessel. I'll have a beer with you, bud.
I think if Wool is healthy, he's the guy. But that's just the question.
Can he be healthy?
Can he stay healthy?
What else?
Is the D-core improved enough for playoff success? I think everyone agrees that it's better.
From 2 games, knee-jerk reaction, yes. Loved Tanev tonight. Loved Tanev tonight.
We talked about him a little bit at the beginning here.
He seemed way better today than he did last night, and he wasn't terrible last night. Yeah.
But he uses his body well. He's physical. I thought OEL had another solid game tonight.
Shoots at fucking everything, and I like it.
I'm a little bit worried. So it sounds like Liljegren's done. I think Liljegren's gone.
That's fine. Move on.
Which I'm fine with. It's just that Timmins the answer.
Probably not.
I don't think Timmins has been bad the first couple of games so far this year. A couple of years ago, I thought he actually was decent. And he signed that little bridge deal. I think he makes like a little over $1 million. But last year he was bad.
Yeah.
He was really bad last year in the few games that he did get in.
And last year it was just, I don't know. We didn't have any real momentum with any D.
I just need to see a little bit more of him. He's the right shot, so he's going to get a chance.
Yeah.
Obviously, now that Liljegren is kind of on the way out, they're going to, the right shot is going to be a big thing there. What about the college guy? What's his name? The guy that's an absolute tree.
Oh.
I don't know why I can't think of his name right now.
Absolute tree. Oh, Myers. 6'5"?
Is that him?
I thought it was a forward. But Philip Myers, was he the one taking bad penalties, though?
Let me see here.
Because NHL.com has him at 6'5", 219. So he's still... I mean, that's... Movement to me becomes, okay, how fluid is he? Can he play good?
Anyway, he's not going to be on the team this year anyway, so it doesn't really much matter.
No. Even looking at the guys who are declared as D-men, I have no idea who Mermis is.
Yeah, there's a couple guys on there. McCabe.
You've got Benoit, you've got OEL,
yeah.
You've got McCabe,
well, Benoit
Riley, Tanev, Timmins.
Benoit has to be third pairing guy. I thought he played well last year, but he played too many minutes.
He's from Quebec, so
he's third. He's a good third pairing guy. McCabe and OEL seems to be working out all right so far.
Yeah.
Riley and Tanev seems to be working out all right so far.
I like them because then it gives Riley a little bit more freedom.
Yep.
And Tanev's the responsible half to it, and he can be that.
Yeah. So next question is depth scoring. Will they get enough, and where will it come from if they do?
Seemingly, to the last couple games and preseason games, it seems to be, yeah. You've got Pacioretty, who showed up again tonight. I know, again, we mentioned, okay, he had that one preseason game, and then, okay, that's just one game. Scored a nice goal tonight. You've got Lawrence.
Yep.
Triggers the shit out of me that he's labeled as Kitchener, Ontario. He's from Waterloo, Ontario.
Take it easy.
People from Waterloo will know the difference.
Take it easy.
Kitchener people will not know the difference.
Well, Aaron Ekblad's not from Windsor. He's from Bell River, all right? So pipe down.
It seems that the depth scoring's kind of gotten better. Robertson having a beautiful preseason.
McMahon had a good year last year.
Let's see if Domi can do maybe a bit more this year.
Fucking Domi.
Oh my god. Okay. The hot discussion last year was you keep one. It's Domi or Bertuzzi. I think Domi is his face-off percentage when he was playing with talent last year in the playoffs, when they were mixing lines around, was fun. The man didn't lose a face-off. They got the puck every single time.
Yeah, well, Tavares doesn't lose face-offs either.
That's fine.
And he doesn't fucking...
Domi, the issue with Domi is size. You can't have him with Nick Robertson. You're just going to get a pushed around line. And the output. The output was surprisingly, really not good. It was good enough in, every once in a while he would get some assists.
It took too long to get going. And it's not that... I'm not a Domi guy.
Pause. Winnipeg, Manitoba is where Domi was born?
Yeah, I think Ty had a short stint there.
News to me.
Yeah. Anyway. Another Ty Domi's from Bell River.
How you doing?
Max, there seems to be this persona around Max that he is some tough guy who's going to bring secondary scoring. And he kind of mixes it up after the whistle or away from the play. But, in the game, actually in-game physicality.
It's not throwing
bitch is out. Go fucking hit someone.
Go take a run.
Not hitting a guy after the ref blows the whistle in a scrum. That's not the same.
Face washing
that
a
doesn't
guy.
do anything. How many stupid penalties did he take in the playoffs last year?
A lot. A physical presence is the other teams not focusing on the puck when they're going in for a race because they're focusing on, and they hate getting fucking hit by you.
Yeah.
That's what a physical player with speed in the offensive zone is designed to do. That puck's gone into deep behind the net, and that player needs to take that half-second thought, and that's why you're winning battles, because you've broken them down a little bit. And he hasn't done that. And he is touted as this tough guy probably because, he's got a little attitude, and his dad was his dad. But if you're going to make a difference on this team and give yourself a reason to kind of, like, gain some credibility, you do need to get more proactive with, like, gameplay level physicality.
Yeah. Since we're on the topic of secondary scoring, I'm going to give you my player to watch right now.
Okay.
And that is Matthew Nice. I don't think it's too much of a hot take.
No.
I think you can see his overall game is there.
The size he has put on.
The production wasn't what people might have expected last year, but he was a rookie. It was his first year. I know he's playing with some big guns.
And he had 4 games in the playoffs 2 years ago?
Before, he didn't play much. But he's a perfect complement for those high-end guys. He's hard in the forecheck. He wins battles.
And you want him to learn? Put him with those guys.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And it'll only get better. And basically the best I've seen him play has always been in the playoffs, and that's exactly what the fuck we want. And that's exactly what we need.
Yes. Agreed.
That's my player to watch. Okay. How do we think the core... Everyone calls it the core 4. Riley's in this. It's a core 5.
You pay him enough, it's considered...
Core 5. How will the core 5 do under Berube? Will they be able to adapt to that?
Matthews will be able to adapt. Nylander, I think, will give it a shot. Marner, I think, is a people pleaser. I think he'll lean into it. Same with Morgan. Tavares, marching orders guy. They'll lean into it. Are they going to find success doing it? Are they the type of players who can play a Berube style of hockey? All of them will try. All of them will. I believe that. I don't think Marner's the type of guy who fits in on a Berube team. I just don't. And there's a lot of resentment toward Marner with what he's being paid, the conversations around Marner, all this bullshit. Objectively, because I'm on the lighter side of I understand what Marner does, but you're not going to get a go in, finish your hits, and just get pucks to the net. Because he's not a pucks to the net guy. I want to make the perfect fucking passing sequence from the outside, and I'm going to look really cool, and I'm going to get 1,000 assists because Matthew's a fucking insane sniper. That's not the type of hockey that they want to play, or at least that's not the type of hockey I think they want to play. It's not the way they've been communicating it to us, and it's not the way Berube has played historically. So I think Matthews can adopt it. I don't know if Nylander's going to have success doing it. I think he's going to have to grow to do that a little bit to follow up on the physicality. I think Marner's going to struggle the most.
I don't think that... I think people kind of overreact because they think that because Berube's coming in, Berube's going to expect the guy that scored 70 goals last year.
They're doing kickboxing on ice.
No, but I understand that. He wants them to be more physical, but it's more so like, can you take it?
Yeah.
You're making this much money. You're who they're going to key on.
You're the grinders.
Right? They're going to key on Matthews makes $13 million. Nylander makes $11.5 million.
Yep.
Tavares and Marner make $11 million. Riley makes $7.5 million. Those are the guys you're going to key on. Those are the guys they're going to look at because that's what you build your team around. Those are the guys that have the most production.
Yep.
So you're going to have to take the heat.
Yep.
That's the way it is. Even you see a couple times, like I saw Nylander throw a hit tonight, and I was like, holy fucking shit. Matthews has been laying the boom a little bit the first couple games.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Berube's style of play fits Tavares.
I agree.
Just because of not so much the physicality, but the cycle.
The cycle
is perfect for Tavares' game.
And fight in front of the net.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the cycle is good for Nylander. I think it is.
Why?
Because Nylander isn't going to be the guy that's down low in the cycle.
Correct.
But when the puck comes out, he can hold on to it. He can keep possession, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what the cycle is.
I think it's where, like, I don't know. Nylander goes for some pretty shots. He's good. He's a really talented player.
Nylander's the guy.
He can deke. He can do all that stuff.
Like, Nylander can drive the net. People don't.
I don't think of Nylander as driving the net guy.
But have you when you watch Nylander play, when he's on odd man rushes, he will drive the net. He has a little bit of strength. I know he's not a tall guy. He's not a huge guy. Mm-hmm. But he will drive the net. Marner won't.
Marner absolutely will not.
Marner will not.
Marner's going to the bench.
Okay. Obviously, Marner's under pressure, and we'll get to that. I think what's flown under the radar for a long time in Leafland.
Oh, no.
Morgan Rielly has been a Maple Leaf longer than everyone else on this roster, okay?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Morgan Rielly's over 30 years old now.
Correct.
Has Morgan Rielly done enough in the past, we'll say 2-3 seasons?
Rip the Band-Aid off.
To give you any confidence.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
This guy makes $7.5 million a season.
Oh!
For like 6 more years? 5 more years, whatever it is?
Ouch. No. Not 7.
Is he the guy?
He's not the guy.
He's not the guy.
What you're paying him versus what you're getting. I want to love Morgan Rielly. I do.
I like Morgan Rielly. I think he's been a good player for the Leafs. And I don't think he's a bad player.
Nope.
I think he's regressed. Because of the fact that his offensive play has gone down, mm-hmm. and his defensive game isn't good enough to make up for that.
So, okay.
If he's your number one defenseman, you're going to have a hard time winning in the playoffs.
Are you at the point where it's, okay, ship him? Or is it, we'll keep you if you're cheap enough?
But it's the deal. There's no cheap enough. The deal is what it is. $7.5 million for whatever, how many more years. It's 5 or 6 more years.
Oh, it's 5 or 6 more years?
Oh, it's not. Dubas didn't sign him that long ago.
Oh,
it's a long time.
So you got to deal him.
At least with Tavares and Marner, the deals are expiring soon.
When did we sign him?
It wasn't that long ago.
So he's got 6 years left?
It's at least 5, I'd say.
Oh!
At least 5.
You do need someone who can be the D-man on PP1.
I think OEL can do that.
It seems like OEL could probably do it and do it better.
He can shoot the puck.
He shoots the fucking puck.
What do we need Rielly for?
They didn't have a good power play tonight.
Nylander and Marner can do what Rielly does. Rielly doesn't do anything defensively.
But I want to keep him.
That's your opinion.
But I know it's not the right choice. If you're going to win...
Rielly has been of great service to this team.
Thank you, Mo.
But we're here to win. You got to make some tough decisions. You got to be the Vegas Golden Knights. It's time to get ruthless. So we're here for Stanley Cups.
So you ship them.
Morgan Rielly isn't getting it done.
So who's on your list of trying to acquire?
That's neither here nor there.
Does Mo have any no moves or anything?
I would imagine he probably has something.
See, is this going to be an in addition to?
That's why it's going to be tough. It's not going to happen. Unless you can get a trade.
Unless you can get a trade.
Which I think is more plausible than trading Marner, honestly.
Yeah. No one's taking that contract.
So, are we talking about Marner now?
Okay. Marner, Mitchell, Marner. So I want to like you.
Here's what I'll say, okay?
Okay.
Nylander, of those 5 guys, Nylander has done the most in the playoffs in recent history.
Correct.
Matthews has had moments in the playoffs where he has taken over games. I.e., Game 2 in the Boston series last year, he was the best player on the ice. Actually, Game 1 and 2. But Swayman stole Game 1. Matthews stole Game 2. And then I think he got sick and there was injuries and whatever. So it kind of took him out. And I think the year before there was a couple games in the Tampa series that we won that he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been every game. Tavares has had some clutch moments in the playoffs. Even Riley, if you go a little further back, has had some decent playoff performances. Not recently. But Marner's a ghost.
I have one image burned into my head of him diving forward face first to block a shot. And that's the only memory I have of Marner in the playoffs.
I don't think people that defend Marner. I know all the reasons you're going to say, okay, Marner is a very good playmaker.
Yep.
He's pretty much pushes 100 points every year. He's over a point per game player.
His assists are unbelievable.
He's a very talented player. But he's not a big guy. Like, he's short, but he's slim, too. There are guys who are short, but like Nylander, but are thick.
Yeah.
Marner is small. He's not getting into those areas. He's a perimeter player. That's what he is. That's what he always will be. I'm not saying he's obviously way better than this player, but I spoke about Trevor Zegras earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not better than Trevor Zegras.
A lot better than Trevor Zegras. But I'm saying the critique is the same.
The thing with Marner is yes, you're a playmaker, but you're not a threat. If he has the puck, he's never going to do anything.
You know what's going to happen. He's not going to shoot the puck.
He's not shooting the puck.
He's looking for the pass.
And so
He'll always pass first.
It makes power plays weaker because you don't have to guard him. He's just going to skate around and maybe pass it and keeps moving against pass back. He's never going to shoot the fucking puck.
Marner skates hard and he books it around so people think, oh, he works hard and he kills penalties and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, he looks, but he doesn't, he's not doing it in a smart way.
He's not a threat.
Booking it around everywhere aimlessly. That doesn't do anything for you.
And there's a lot of guys who can skate like that and make passes. He makes some unbelievable passes. I'll get credit where credit's due.
Yep.
He makes some great passes.
But
you need to be more than that. If you are that one-dimensional, you are not a threat.
He makes some great plays, but he also has a lot of bad turnovers. Like a lot of bad turnovers. That I'm not sure get attention until the playoffs. Nobody says anything in the regular season.
Because we still get wins. A bad loss.
This Marner hate train, okay? I know it seems like we're just jumping on it. I don't know about you. I don't think you. But I have kind of been on this wave a lot earlier than everyone else.
I was still defending him going into last year.
Yes.
I was still very much on the Nylander hate train.
Yep.
And I was on the defending Marner train.
You're stuck here. Marner makes $11 million. His deal is expiring, so there's no guarantee he would re-sign if you
get him out.
Just hear me out. You're stuck, okay? So I think a trade is highly, highly unlikely because he would have to waive the no-move clause. Yep. You have to like where he wants to go.
Yep.
And he'd have to get the money.
Yep.
He already makes $11 million. He's going to want to raise.
Yep. So who would touch that?
And when he signed, because everyone was pissed off at Nylander for holding out for less than 7.
Fuck you,
but then Dubas fucking, here you go, Marner. $11 million? I want Matthews' money. Do you score 60 goals a year? Are you a center? Are you good defensively? Do you win faceoffs?
Nope.
No? Fuck you. You don't make double digits, especially in your first fucking deal outside your rookie deal. Fuck off. Would you rather bite the bullet and re-sign Marner?
No.
Let's say for $12 million, because he's going to want at least what Nylander makes.
For how long? If it's short term,
I can't imagine it would be short term.
If he's like, give me a bridge deal,
that's not happening.
Hypothetically,
that's not happening.
I know. That is the only scenario, though.
Yeah.
Because that is not going to happen, the answer is absolutely not, because I don't want to be here 5 years from now saying the exact goddamn same thing. So it's
either you pay him, let's say, I'll say 5 years, okay? Matthews takes like 4 or 5 year deals. Yeah. So let's say Marner does the same thing. Marner takes 5 years, and let's say he matches Nylander at 11.5, okay? So either you take that or you let him walk for nothing.
Walk.
I'd let him walk. I'd let him walk.
Give him a map. Give him a GPS and iPhone. $50 for McDonald's.
If you let Marner walk, and the Tavares deal expires, whether he stays or not, who knows? But you've just freed up $22 million in cap space, and the cap is going up.
Thank God. You can actually go out and acquire some variety that fit the team that you're trying to build.
Second line center. Tavares can be third line center.
Mm-hmm.
You go get a second line center. You go get a winger, top 6 winger, to help with scoring a little bit.
Yeah.
So that when the playoffs come, we're not relying on 2 guys.
Yeah.
Okay? You shouldn't have more than one player that makes over $10 million on your roster.
At least as of today.
You shouldn't have more than 2.
Yeah.
At the very, that should be the absolute most you have.
Oh, everyone has talked about this, where Leafs are, 4 of the top 10 most highest paid players slots?
Somewhere around there.
You can't have that much cash centralized on so few players. Okay. It gives you no flexibility, no depth.
So, on the contract stuff, Tavares has started to negotiate. What do we think a Tavares deal looks like?
He's how old? Let's check here. John Tavares, 1990.
So 34?
34. Give him 4 years max.
I'd say 3.
And I don't know, maybe front load it to John, will you take...
What's the AAV?
AAV? 8.
That 8. High.
I think if you want him, I think other teams are going to go off rate.
But Tavares has made his money.
Yes.
If he meant what he said when he signed here, he truly wants to win here, he takes less than $5 million.
That would be... John, please, do it.
You take less than $5 million.
That frees up, again, so much extra so you can go and get, a better Morgan Riley.
For comparison, okay, so Steven Stamkos, I think, will be around the same age as Tavares. Okay, Stamkos just signed in Nashville for $8 million. The difference being is that, yes, Tampa let him go because they wanted him to sign for peanuts, and he didn't want to sign for peanuts. But the difference being, Stamkos has 2 cups. Stamkos has nothing left to prove.
Correct.
Tavares wants to win the cup, and Tavares says he wants to win it in Toronto. The best way you can do that,
take a cut.
Go call up Sidney Crosby.
When you benchmark everything to Crosby, you're like 8 million. Sounds ridiculous.
8.7. That guy is literally one of the best players to ever play hockey. And he easily, he has not even in his peak, he didn't maximize his earnings.
No.
Obviously didn't make chump change, but
I bet you he paid his taxes too.
Yeah.
John, take 3 or 4.
Okay. Anything else?
I want to go into Nylander a little bit.
Okay. We're running a little long, so.
Okay. I'll make it quick. I just want him to fucking prove that he's, like, the guy.
Okay.
That's all I want. When you see some of the shit he does, when you see and you watch him play and sometimes it looks like he doesn't give a fuck, that's hard to watch as a fan. Yes, he does sick stuff every once in a while. And honestly, more than once in a while. And he shows up in the playoffs, and that's wonderful. I love that. When you see, like, him being pissed off, that's why I think, like, not to blow it up too much, but, like, that outburst today with slapping the puck down the ice, have a little fucking discipline and have a little fucking character, buddy.
So it doesn't sound like you're off the Nylander hate train.
He's not a fucking adult. And if you're going to be a leader on the team, if you wonder why he doesn't have an A?
I don't wonder why he doesn't have an A.
Because he's a fucking child sometimes.
Yeah, but you give Marner an A, so it's the same fucking thing.
He skates real fast. I like that.
Do you know what the difference is? Which there actually isn't, because Nylander's actually born here. The difference is that Marner's Canadian.
I don't know.
Why do you think it took so long for people to get on this train about Marner? It took a long fucking time. Didn't take people very long with Nylander.
I think
nobody was hating on Marner when he signed for $11 million. Everyone was hating on Nylander for signing for less than $7 million.
Because it's so easy to look at Marner setting up Matthews every time and being like, "Oh, that's just money. That's just smooth as butter."
But no fucking hockey person with a fucking brain.
What are you trying to say?
Goes 20-year-old Mitch Marner is worth $11 million.
No, obviously not. That's fucking insane. But I don't know. Just seeing Nylander, at least when you see Mitch skating, it's like, okay, he's skating hard. Yes.
Yeah, but it's aimless.
It's aimless, but he's like skating hard, and you will see him like generally back check and like hustle to do so.
Not in the overtime winner in the playoffs last year. Guy fucking walked him.
Isolated incident.
Yeah, okay. Isolated
incident.
That's bullshit. It's not an isolated
incident. Everyone gets a slap on the wrist.
Here's what I find.
Nylander's all the time. It's all the time with him. Where you'll do a shot and he's just like...
So what about McDavid?
Scope. We're talking Toronto Maple Leafs right now. Toronto, and I think...
You cannot sit here and tell me that Nylander doesn't do shit.
I don't think you give McDavid enough credit for the back checking.
I think he chooses when he wants to do it, just like Nylander chooses when he wants to do it.
And when Nylander puts up McDavid numbers, he can maybe choose some spots too. Until then, skate.
Check the cup count. McDavid has the same amount as Nylander.
Been closer than Nylander.
It doesn't fucking matter if you're not first, you're last, pal.
Oh my god. That... unbelievable.
Ghost Town, Game 6 and 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Supposed to be the best player on earth.
He was skating real fast, though.
Barkov shut his ass down.
And that's credit to Barkov. Barkov's a great example of a guy who's willing to do absolutely anything to drag the team across.
I don't appreciate the Nylander hate.
I know you don't.
Because it's hypocritical. Because you love McDavid as much as you do.
And McDavid is so much better than William Nylander.
But it doesn't matter.
It matters.
No, it doesn't matter. If you want to win Stanley Cups, you got to do those things. McDavid is not going to win cups unless he does those things.
Connor McDavid, be more of a two-way player. You too.
Yep.
Now can we say it to Nylander together?
I've never
Nylander,
said you shouldn't do it.
Be a better two-way player.
I'm saying he picks and chooses just like Nylander picks and chooses. You know what the difference is? Nylander doesn't play center.
No perfect player.
Nylander doesn't play center, pal.
It's still fucking skate. Still fucking skate.
It's not the same. There's no perfect player. There's a perfect player. His name's Sidney
Crosby. Okay.
So how about we didn't finalize our East playoffs here. We kind of skipped over that.
Okay.
Because I did the same thing in the East as I did in the West. There's 5 teams in the playoffs from one division.
It's from the Atlantic.
It's from the Atlantic. So Boston is in for me.
Okay.
Boston sneaks in the last spot, and they beat out the Islanders for the last spot.
So you've got Florida.
Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Detroit, and Boston from the Atlantic.
Detroit.
And then Carolina, the Rangers, and New Jersey from the Metro.
Carolina, yeah.
I'm going to just skip right ahead to conference final. I'm not going to say how we get there and who wins what, blah, blah, blah. My East final is Toronto and New York, the Rangers.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I think the Leafs are taking steps.
Okay.
They're not going to win, but they're going to take steps. And then when that cash frees up the next year, we'll see what happens. That's the time to win.
Okay.
Okay. In the West, my West final is Dallas and Vegas. Because Vegas is going to be healthy come playoff time, and they're going to shut everyone up because everyone doubts them.
Oh, my God.
Again. For, what is this, the 7th time?
See, you have Colorado not getting...
Colorado loses to Dallas in the second round.
Ooh. Okay.
Just because Dallas has the depth, and Wyatt Johnston and Miro Heiskanen are fucking studs.
How far does Edmonton go?
Edmonton loses to Vegas in the second round.
Okay.
Edmonton gets all that hype
just to be
shut down.
You hate the Prairies.
Just Edmonton. Actually, I don't even hate Edmonton. It's just the hype around McDavid. And then the final will be Dallas and New York.
Okay.
And Dallas will win the cup.
Dallas
will win the cup. And my Conn Smythe winner is Jake Ottinger. Not really too much of a hot take. The goalie wins a lot. Okay. Award predictions. Do you want your cup winner? You didn't do your homework here. Who's your cup winner?
Nashville.
Wow.
Nashville. This is Nashville.
You know what? I do think I kind of have a weird feeling. Obviously, I picked Dallas, so I'm not 100% convinced on it. But I have a weird feeling that this is one of those years where somebody that's not considered like a full-on favorite to win will win. I just have a feeling.
I think Nashville has the nuts.
A couple of, 5 years ago. You're high on Nashville, eh?
I am very high on Nashville.
That's big.
I think that they have the potential to be one of the best teams in the league.
So basically, Nashville would have to. What place do you have Nashville finishing in the division?
Probably second.
Second, okay. Would they play Colorado in the first round?
Yeah.
And they play Dallas in the second round?
Yeah. And they beat Dallas.
Edmonton in the conference final, or Vegas, or Vancouver?
No, I don't think Edmonton.
No?
No, I think probably Vegas.
Okay. Vegas, you were down on Vegas. I think I convinced you. I think I changed your mind.
A little bit. Yeah, I think...
Obviously, all this Vegas stuff, if Hayden Hill gets injured and Ilya Samsonov's a goalie, it's a wash.
Doesn't matter anymore. And then I'll go... Yeah, Toronto, Florida.
I honestly think Florida's the best team in the East by a mile. I just didn't want to pick them again because it's just boring to pick the same team again.
I think Ottawa squeaks in
the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm saying who's going to the Cup final?
Cup final?
Out of the East.
New York.
Okay.
I think New York.
Nashville beats New York in the Cup final.
Yeah. Saros goes.
Nashville's an electric place to go. So. All right. So we're gonna do awards. I did my Conn Smythe. Who's your Conn Smythe? Nashville wins the cup. Saros, Yossi, Stamkos, O'Reilly, Forsberg.
Forsberg, probably.
Forsberg?
Yeah.
All right. So I have 3 little categories that aren't legit NHL awards. Let's start with those.
Okay.
So comeback player of the year. My comeback player of the year is Timo Meier. I think he's going to have a big year.
Okay.
If you want to think, throw one out there. Or you want me to just keep going?
Keep going.
Okay. My disappointment of the year is going to be Linus Ullmark.
Ooh.
I've never really been massive on him.
Not sold.
And he's going to a worse team with way less structure.
Okay.
My breakout surprise, when we talked about his team, I didn't mention him. I did mention him, but I said, I'm going to talk about somebody else for this because I'm saving this guy for later.
Okay.
Logan Cooley is going to light the fucking league on fire this year. Utah is coming, people. The fucking hockey club is coming. Logan Cooley is going to be over point per game. He's a 90 point guy this season.
Okay.
That's my breakout surprise.
Let me do some thinking here. Breakout surprise. I mean, it's not really a surprise, though. What was your first
comeback player?
Comeback
a guy
player?
That's been good that kind of fell off, that come back again.
I will do. You know what? I'll do Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley
All
that talk.
Is going to adapt
to
the Berube way.
All right.
And he's going to find his passion for two-way hockey.
Disappointment?
Let's see.
I don't know, you were very low on Tampa. You don't have Tampa making it.
No, I don't.
Maybe one of those guys.
I don't think it'll be a surprise, though. You know what?
I said disappointment. I didn't say the surprise is the breakout one.
Disappointment, yeah. I think Tampa won't make it. I think Tampa's going to be
like a player.
Specific player. You know what? Gensel's not going to have a good year.
Okay.
Gensel's not going to have a good year in Tampa.
And then breakout.
I'm going with this frickin' Russian in Philadelphia.
Michkov.
Checking him tonight. He's got points.
All right. So now the legit NHL awards here.
Okay.
So we've already mentioned. I have Dallas winning the Stanley Cup. You have Nashville winning the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
I have Edmonton winning the President's Trophy. I don't think you mentioned who you have winning the President's Trophy.
That's for what? Regular season?
Regular season winner.
New York.
Rangers? Okay.
Yeah.
And then my Conn Smythe is Jake Ottinger. You would fill Forsberg. Okay, let's start with, we'll go Jack Adams. So Coach of the Year. I'm going Sheldon Keefe because the award is usually awarded to a guy who coaches a team who maybe the team wasn't as good the previous year. That's kind of usually how it goes. And New Jersey's going to get in. So I'm going Sheldon Keefe.
I will go with. I'm gonna go with Marty St. Louis.
Oh wow! Okay, is Montreal making the playoffs?
Maybe.
Okay, that's not a very. Maybe let's have a little bit of.
Let's see if they pull it off.
A little bit of a down here situation and fucking lay him on the table and fucking say. They're in.
You know what?
They better be in if you have him winning Coach of the Year.
Yeah, let's put him in.
All right, that's good.
Ottawa's out. Sorry.
Ottawa's out.
Montreal's in.
All right. We'll go with Selke next. So two-way forward. I'm going Austin Matthews.
Really?
He's gonna. Berube is in there, and he's gonna take over the crown from Barkov.
That's actually a really interesting take.
Obviously, you have Barkov.
I'm going with Connor McDavid.
Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. Tell you, you're not doing that.
Two-way player.
There always seems to be one guy who's got a stranglehold on this award. Like Datsuk won it for years. Bergeron won it for years. Barkov's won it for years.
Let's go with Nathan McKinnon.
Okay, wow. We're gonna go Rocket Richard, so most goals. Austin Matthews.
If you choose anything else, fuck yourself.
He's not scoring 70, but I think he could still hit 60.
Yeah.
After that, I'll go Art Ross. So most points, I'm going McDavid.
Yeah.
just because he didn't win it last year. And Edmonton's kind of, I think they're going to, I know they got rocked the other night, but they're going to come out. And
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have the same lulls that they did last year.
Okay. Calder, so Rookie of the Year. I told you earlier it's a defenseman. There's tons of guys in the Calder race. You have Celebrini, Will Smith in San Jose, Michkov in Philly, Gauthier in Anaheim. My pick is Lane Hudson of the Montreal Canadiens.
You're wild. I'm going to go Celebrini.
You want Celebrini?
Yeah.
Even what you said about Michkov?
Michkov's going to be fucking insane.
Celebrini scored tonight, by the way.
But I don't. I think Celebrini's just.
Okay.
I think he's gonna have too much of an accelerating role.
Okay. I just think his team sucks so much that, like, I think Hudson and Michkov and Gauthier walk into better situations.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think Celebrini's in for a good.
You know,
he can have the spotlight.
Who's one that could probably win it just because and nobody really talks about it because he played a little bit last year, but he didn't play enough to be a rookie. Is Logan Stankoven in Dallas? He's going to be on one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah.
I think that's a show. But I'm sticking with Lane Hudson. I think he's a stud.
Okay.
You're going Celebrini.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do Vezina, so best goalie. I'm going Shesterkin because Shesterkin is going to be fucking unbelievable, and he's going to get his bag.
Yeah, that's probably the best choice.
I know it's not really it's not some hot take here.
No. I think that's probably fair.
Okay. So you agree?
Yeah.
Norris, I talked about him already. I'm high on him. Miro Heiskanen. We're going to mix it up a little bit. I don't think Hughes is going to be that good again. Obviously, Makar will be in the mix, but the Avs might struggle out of the gate a little bit.
Yossi, I'm high on.
Yossi, you're a Preds guy. Roman Yossi. He was in there last year. He was in the running. And the last is Hart, so MVP. I think it'll be McDavid.
I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be Austin Matthews.
Okay. Who'd you pick for Art Ross? Did you say McDavid?
Yeah.
Okay. Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. There you have it. There's your award predictions. I'm going to toss them out there. I think Jack Hughes is going to have a big year. I think he's going to be in the running for the Hart.
Luke?
Pardon?
What about Luke?
Well, defenseman.
Yeah. But like just generally speaking.
I do see like a lot of people say he's the best of the brothers. I disagree.
He's just young.
I watched him at Michigan a little bit, and I wasn't like that impressed. He's obviously a good player.
Yeah. I don't know. He's been.
But like
I know
Jack and Quinn have proven to be like stud NHLers, and they were pretty much studs
right from the get-go, and you haven't seen that from
especially Quinn and Luke hasn't really seen that. Now, granted, when Quinn and Jack came through, their teams were kind of just coming up. They weren't that great yet, so they were kind of like one of the better players on the team. Whereas now Luke comes in, New Jersey's actually a decent team.
Yeah.
So he's not one of the better players, so they're going to ease him in. He's not going to be in as many situations as those guys would be. But Hughes is like a 100-point guy. Jack is a 100-point guy. Quinn had 90 last year as a defenseman. So I guess I have to say, but I'm going to say Jack Hughes. He's going to have a big year. I think he's pushing McDavid for those awards.
Wow. Okay. Well,
that's it, folks.
Welcome to episode 1.2.
That was a fucking long one.
That was a long one.
But it won't be this long every week. It was just a preview.
There's so much to go through.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Now
we went a lot longer than what we expected.
Yeah,
I gotta fucking drive home now. It's gonna be.
It's 11:45.
It's 35, and then get up at 5 a.m.
We'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
And remember,
go.
puck yourself.
Yeah.